A fire during the early morning hours of November 18th in this New London home, raising suspicions about what exactly happened to Tony Hsieh, the founder and recently retired CEO of online shoe company Zappos.
I reported a fire in the building. One person stuck inside.
New London Fire Department tweeted out pictures of their response to this home that morning.
500 Pequot Avenue structure fire, report of a person trapped.
Sources tell Fox 61 Hsieh had purchased this home for $1.3 million for Niantic native Rachel Brown, who was a business associate of Hsieh's with Zappos.
One person barricaded inside of a room, starting police as well.
New London fire officials say Hsieh was locked inside of a storage area in the rear of the home, but would add nothing further other than to say the investigation continues. One of Hsieh's assistants, Anthony Hsieh, who travels with him, told Fox 61 off camera the recently retired founder of Zappos was here in Connecticut visiting family and his soulmate, but he would not expand.
We have one victim being pulled from the fire now, unresponsive.
Hsieh was transported to nearby Lawrence and Memorial Hospital before being airlifted by Lifestar to Bridgeport Hospital, where he died on Friday. Tributes pouring in through social media, including from the mayor of Las Vegas, where Zappos is headquartered. And Ivanka Trump called Hsieh a deeply original thinker, always challenging me to reject conformity and follow my heart. This morning, the Office of the Chief Medical Examiner said the manner and cause of Hsieh's death was pending further study. But this afternoon, the Day of New London reported the OCME said he died of complications from smoke inhalation and ruled his death accidental. In New London, Tony Terzi, Fox 61 News.